Recently, the Indian Ministry of Defense approved the design and development of a light battle tank for the private sector. Under the Make 1 category, the industry will undertake the project and can be funded by the Government of India in a stock departure from the direct purchase route. According to the Eurasian Times, the Indian foreign defense contractor with ties with the Indian military had declared their intent to offer a tank to meet the army's needs. As a result, a deal between a local and an international defense contractor for collaboration on the design and development of the tank could be struck shortly. The need for a light battle tank was realized at the height of the standoff between the Chinese and the Indian army in Ladakh that began in May 2020, where India had to move moreover heavy T-72 tanks and T-90 tanks. Although they are effective against all Chinese tanks and crewed by the experienced and well-trained Indian cavalry, they still cause movement and logistical issues in the high-altitude air and inhospitable terrain at 17,500 feet. The treacherous mountain passes made transport a pain, adding to the logistical strain of maintaining 50,000 troops. Things got worse in the winter of 2020 when the Indian Army had to sustain the high posture through the cold for the first time in 4 decades. Troops from both armies were left forward positions since the line of actual control is much calmer than the line of control with Pakistan. But the real shock came from the People's Liberation Army tested the ZTQ-15 light tanks that effortlessly zipped through the Tibet and Xinjiang plains, but also looked too light, nimble and vulnerable to the heavy main guns above 105mm. Nevertheless, Indian Army planners realized it was a force multiplier and could serve devastating impact on infantry position if protected well by the infantry and close air support. Moreover, China's logistical advantage owing to extensive border infrastructure coming deep from within Tibet and Xinjiang. These operational difficulties associated using heavy battle tanks in the mountain warfare have pushed the India's light tank program. Depending on the armored production configuration, the Chinese Type 15 tank weighs around 33 to 36 tons and is highly mobile and rapidly deployable in jungles, mountains, and river terrains. Interestingly, it was primarily designed for reconnaissance and infantry support missions. While India hunting for the light combat tanks, India's DRDO and Indian Army successfully tested an indigenously developed anti-tank guided missile at KK range at Maharashtra state of India on Tuesday, the Defense Minister said in a statement. The anti-tank guided missile or the atgm was successfully test-fired from the Arjun battle tank, said the ministry. According to the Indian news media Economic Times of India and in the Defense Ministry statement, it was said that the atgm hit the bullseye with a textbook precision and successfully defeated the target at the minimum ranges. The telemetry system recorded the satisfactory flight performance of a missile. Engaging the target at lower range is a challenge due to the dimensional constraints of the tank-launched atgms, which has been successfully accomplished by the atgm for the Arjun tank of Indian Army. With the trial, the atgm capability to engage targets from minimum to maximum range has been established. Earlier, the trials have been successful for maximum range. The Indian Defense Minister Rajnath Singh has congratulated the DRDO and the Indian Army for the successful trial of the atgm. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe and please support us by clicking the thanks button below our video. As the military talks are going on, China is also expanding its military near the India-China border. India now buying lots of lightweight tanks to deploy in the Ladakh region. India to build roads in Bhutan and to challenge China in the South America. According to an American news media, the Newsweek says China is expanding its military near the India-China border as even the talks are going on. The news media claims the original news was published on the New York Times. According to the New York Times, it acquired satellite images of the valleys and mountains of the LAC. The Chinese troops have maintained position on the India sides of the frontier despite Modi's claims of victory.
As the Chinese troops have not moved out of all parts of the LAC, still the talk is going on. As the Indian officials said before, the talks on the de-escalation will take times or months of process. Accordingly, it seems Chinese are still in some parts of India, and also China is heavily deploying troops near the China-India border. China also weekly increasing its military drill in the Tibet region. As the Indian opposition parties and the Indian media claims China did not move out of India. As there is no information or news or clarity on what's going on with the talks, no one can come to a solution or a conclusion. But India is not taking any chances. India is buying lightweight tanks to be deployed into the high altitude mountains of Ladakh. India already has lots of battle tanks. For fast movement, India needs lightweight tanks. Indian battle tanks unit are heavyweight and they are also already deployed near the China-India border. India buying these tanks on an emergency and an urgent purchase. As China has massive extensive road constructions connecting total China, India is catching up to it. Already India is buying many other urgent military purchases. This comes at the time India and China talks are not getting results fully, and China is increasing military presence near the Ladakh region in the India-China border. While the US has prototype lightweight tanks, India can't buy it, and China is not an option at all. While Russia has an air transportable sprut SDM-1 that has the capabilities of T-72 and T-90. India has proposed to build road in the Bhutan and Yeti territory, which China claims its territory. This road will enable India's easy access to the Tawang of Arunachal Pradesh. This will reduce the timing of Guwahati and Tawang by 150 kilometers, said by the Indian news media Economic Times of India. While India is pushing towards Southern America to challenge China as it deals billions of dollars in trade with South America. India plans to get some military deals with Chile in the coming Naval Expo in Chile. Now India to focus on the trade with Brazil, Argentina, Chile, Ecuador, Colombia, Bolivia, Mexico, Peru and other countries. Mostly these countries looking to buy defense equipment. So what do you think of India building roads in Bhutan near the India-China border and buying tanks urgently, and China expanding its military presence near the China-India border? Does this mean that the de-escalation is not working out?